Hey you guys, this is Haley of LoveLeys Hair, and I'm about to show y'all how to wash thick natural hair. I'm gonna start with using a tangle teaser. That is like the most important thing, and I have two different kinds, one for shampooing and one for just working through the ends. The orange one is really helpful to get through the scalp, while the pink one is easier to get through your ends. Using both is cool, but one or the other is still fine. They have really soft, rubbery bristles, so that's why it's amazing. It doesn't yank through the hair, it's a lot softer, so it doesn't cause a lot of breakage, but can just slip through curls that are acting up. And the clips I'm using are crocodile clips, my favorite kind of clips because they can actually control my hair without having the clip pop off or break. It's a really strong clamp, so it's really helpful for parting as well. Today, I've decided to use Honey Almond shampoo. This is really good for color treated hair. It's moisturizing, it helps with detangling, and this is by Influence Haircare with their It's Natural line. And I'm treating my hair with the Multiplex Treatment, which is a mixture of protein and moisture that's going to rejuvenate and restore strength to the hair. So to start, we're going to unravel my hair, take it from its rubber band so you can see its full, real deal thickness. It's very real. So before I get started, of course, I have to fully saturate my hair. I don't know why anyone would even start to shampoo without fully saturating. So really make sure you are getting the hair full of water before you apply shampoo. Now I'm applying shampoo to the ends first. This helps with detangling and working through any tangles. We all know if we're wearing high puffs for a long time, the ends can easily get tangled and matted up. So make sure you're detangling as you go with the first shampoo process, and then you rinse thoroughly once you feel like your ends are pretty detangled and easier to work with. Because the last thing you want to do is start lathering while your ends are tangled or matted or have single strand knots or anything like that. And keep rinsing until you feel like all your ends are pretty much detangled. In the next shampoo, we are focusing on our roots. So once you have most of the ends cleansed and detangled, we are actually going to apply the shampoo directly to our roots. And that is because that is the area that is hardest sometimes to cleanse, especially for us thick hair girls. It's hard to get up in there if you're starting at the ends. So we already addressed the ends, so now we're just focusing on the roots. And I find that most people have the most build up at the top midsection I'm at. But once you apply it there, you can start trying to bring it down towards the front just because that's, normally the areas that are hardest to reach in the middle front sections. And after we get that, we're going to move around towards the perimeter because I know for most people, our edges build up the most in the midsection of our roots. But since we want to make sure it's thorough, we're going to hit all our roots as much as possible. You don't have to use a lot of shampoo. I'm literally putting like less than a dime size amount on my scalp when I go ahead and apply that shampoo to my roots. And you're going to massage it with your fingers. You're going to rub it. You're going to make sure you're getting a good lather so much that your scalp is starting to feel stimulated with your shampoo, and continue to do that until you feel like all of your roots have a lather. And I really mean your roots. Like, focus on your roots. Don't try to bring your ends along to the party. Just work on your roots, because honestly, that is the soil, that is the area in which all health starts. So if we don't get our roots good enough, ultimately is going to come down to our ends being really malnourished. So once your ends are thoroughly shampooed and massaged into your scalp, it's time to start brushing through your hair. So as you can see, I'm going to section my hair up to workable sections. Since my hair is thick, I'm not even going to try to attack my whole head. So I'm starting with hand-held sections that I can control with my hands, and I'm shampooing starting at the roots, but as I detangle, I'm starting from the ends working up. So there's already shampoo on the brush. So as we start on the ends, we are working section by section up until the roots. And if you see, I'm adding hair from one section to the next. And as I gain more hair, I brush it through the rest of the hair. And this really does help with manageability. It really does fight a lot of, chaos you might run into when you come to conditioning. So you should be able to brush. As you can see, I'm brushing from my roots to my ends. I know with most thicker hair people that seems like a hard thing to do, especially with tight curls. But I really do believe like if you do this process thoroughly with your shampoo, treating your hair is going to be so much easier to get the condition through. And it's so important to keep your hair detangled through the shampoo process because we all know when we want to make sure our hair is saturated with conditioner, if your hair is tangled or knotted, it's not going to help you in the process. So, this is really cutting back time when it comes to conditioning. Starting with detangled hair will make your life so much easier. So, as you can see, I'm just working through the back and getting that area just as detangled as I did the front. And as you can see, when I turn around, you should be able to brush through your hair easily, like straight up from roots to ends. Like once your hair is fully detangled, that's how you know. Because you can take the brush at your roots and take it all the way down to the ends, and it'll go through easily without a fight. So that's always my test to make sure it's fully detangled before we rinse. And once your hair feels fully detangled, that's how you know it's really time to rinse and get ready for your treatment. So make sure you rinse as much as possible, especially with us thicker hair women. It's always good to open the hair up in the middle in all sections just to make sure you're not missing any spots that might have shampoo stuck in your roots. Even as a hairstylist, I find that it's hard to get all the way in there. So once your hair is rinsed, squeeze the excess water from your hair. You can use either a t-shirt or a microfiber towel. I'm using a microfiber towel, and that's all the little shedding that I had. Not a lot considering it was 2 weeks. And now it's time to treat your hair. I'm using Multiplex. Like I told you guys at the beginning, this is from Influance. It has a mixture of protein and moisture to get my hair strong and making sure it stays limber and easy to manage even with it being colored. So I'm going to split my hair into workable sections just because I'm not a person that's ever going to try to tackle a large amount of hair because that's when you get a whole bunch of breakage or you get a whole bunch of ripping through. It's easier to work through in small sections. So we apply the treatment on our ends first because that area is almost always the dullest. And once we get that on the ends, we are brushing through just like we did with the shampoo, starting at the ends and working our way up. And as we work the way up and the hair is fully detangled, that's when we'll go ahead and twist the hair together and get that section out the way so we can focus on the rest of our hair. And once you get the hair into workable sections, it's really important that you make sure that each section is saturated. I know, like, we want to preserve product, and I'm not saying go crazy, but if your hair doesn't feel like it has the slip from the product on it, then you need to add a little bit more. So I am going ahead and adding more treatment to the areas that feel a little dry or don't feel like they have enough moisture on them, because as much saturation as you feel now is how much the product is really going to work into your hair once you sit under the dryer for your treatment. So don't be too conservative with applying the product because you want to make sure it actually works and gets the hair truly moisturized and treated. Now, once your sections are complete, you have to put on your plastic cap, of course. You can use a plastic bag as long as your hair is contained. That's most important so the moisture can work through your hair. You can sit under the dryer 15 to 20 minutes or without heat for 30 minutes. And after that's done, take off your cap. As you can see, my ends look a lot more saturated, a lot more moist, and rinse thoroughly. Rinse with cool water at that. If you can, it doesn't have to be ice cold. And then towel blot your hair and get ready for your styling. Thank you guys for watching.